My mother told me there'd be days like this.
Technical difficulties galore. I had them yesterday. Now y'all have them today.
One word. Scuff.
Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
I swear those seals are never going to be serious.
Oh yeah!
Let's go, baby! Woo! And hashtag all hail the Duke Queen, who's currently in London right now, joining us in the chat.
Technical difficulties be damned.
We can't be stopped.
Good morning, and welcome to the Twisted
And here's the technical difficulties rearing their head again. Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
No. You just went completely robotic and froze, dude. Is it going to be that type of day today?
Yes.
Apparently StreamYard has... Okay, you're back now, but apparently StreamYard has not had our first hour sponsor, which happens to be Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless.
It seems like it has had a Snickers bar. It's not StreamYard when it's hungry.
Great.
Well, neither is Andy Reid, because apparently he's coaching the chefs. I'm just saying.
Because you can't make money correctly.
That too. Well, they can make money, just steal money.
They just end up stealing what they make.
Right.
They steal from everybody else and give to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's going to be a laggy type of day.
Piece of garbage company.
Oh.
This is what we've been fighting the last 10 minutes, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already lacking on sleep.
Dude, I've officially finished 2 12-packs in the past 2 days because of a lack of sleep. I get it.
Why aren't you two going to sleep?
One, it was still friggin' 90 degrees in here when it gets up to about 100. And I'm talking at night, it still roasts in here with my air conditioner going.
Oh, crap.
I was warned this place gets like a greenhouse. Once it gets warm, it stays warm. And by the way, Jen, cheers.
Fair enough. Dog. I mean, not dog. Snowman, were you sitting there working late again?
I typically refuse to answer yes.
See?
And yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was going to say, you're not going to be able to tell this lie.
Although for me, my reason for not sleeping last night's a little bit different. I finally got back to the sim racing booth after about 5 months off.
How is it?
And I'm going to tell you right now, last night's broadcast, I swear, was probably one of the best I ever had.
Oh, they'll get better.
So long as you didn't have a bronzexual in that, you're fine.
No, we were fine because trust me,
Okay.
if a bronzexual showed up last night, his ass would have been roasted. I was on that type of a flow last night.
I get it.
Probably kicked out.
No, I would have just roasted him and then laughed.
Mm-hmm.
And then been like, by the way, this is coming up tomorrow on the morning show, so stay tuned.
So I'm gonna try
You know what my wife does all the time when she whenever when we were going back and forth to the hospital, she would read dad jokes to me.
Mm-hmm.
She would post one on Facebook, and then she would say, "I'm apologizing in advance, but don't be surprised if a few of these made it to his morning show."
Mm-hmm.
And she would be right.
Speaking of things making it to the morning show, why do we have that current hashtag trending right now? Because yes, Jen, it is you.
Miss you.
Enjoy the concert. Have fun.
We already miss you.
Yes, we do.
And bring back pictures.
Bring back some pictures and video.
Bring back pictures.
I'm going to hear about that later.
We're all going to
hear about it later.
Couches.
I know it's coming.
We're all going to smack with couches.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which,
oh no,
let's have some fun. Please help me welcome the fabulous voice of the Indianapolis Colts, the one, the only Matt Taylor.
Hey.
Good morning, Matt. How are you, buddy?
Matt, what's going on?
Mr. Taylor.
Fellas, what's happening?
Doing well. How are you,
football.
Sir? You can smell it in the air. You can smell the football in the air.
No doubt about it. Yeah, it's crazy that training camp wraps up today. At least the Grand Park portion of camp wraps up today. So it's been football for a minute, but it seems like we're there, but yet we still have 3 weeks to go before we start keeping score for real.
Now it really starts getting real. You got First of all, your thoughts on week 1 of the preseason, the loss against the Ravens in Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a big incomplete grade when it comes to Anthony Richardson. It was very disappointing that we didn't get to see the plan play out. He was scheduled to play about a quarter and a half and just, try to get into a rhythm and try to go through a couple of different, football situations. You wanted to see him on a third down. You wanted to see him, in the red zone. You wanted to see him potentially lead a 2-minute drive, depending on how the game kind of shook out. But obviously those things didn't play out, playing just the 7 snaps and the dislocated finger. But Daniel Jones came in, and I thought he looked really good. And I think his stat line really doesn't do him justice. He had a couple of drops by the skill players around him. He had a touchdown pass wiped out due to a bad penalty. So I thought he showed a lot of professionalism to come in right away, being thrusted into that situation, not knowing that he wasn't going to play, or at least the plan wasn't for him to play as much as he did. I think it was 6+ series, but I thought he looked good. And this is a quarterback competition that's, still ongoing, and it wages on. And then defensively, the starters didn't play, and the Ravens just ran the heck out of the ball. So I don't know if there's too much you can glean defensively from what you saw. I think the only thing that you can really take away from that side of the ball is just individuals instead of collective, effort. I thought, you had some of the young cornerbacks, members in the secondary play well, and depth is being tested there big time right now with some injuries to, Justin Wally's lost for the season. You've got those nagging hamstrings to Juju Brents and Jalen Jones, but I thought, Jonathan Edwards and Alex Johnson, who could be in the mix to make the team and have a role, I thought those two guys competed and played well. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I hate to say it's kind of a cop-out answer, but it's just a big-time, incomplete, because starters didn't play on defense. Anthony Richardson didn't really play on offense, and you didn't have too many other starters on offense. So, I don't know. I think there's a lot of value to what you saw, but, in terms of the meat and the potatoes of, big time revelations, there just weren't many, to be honest with you, in Baltimore.
Do you think that Daniel Jones found his home in Indianapolis?
Who's that again? I'm sorry.
Do you think Daniel Jones finally found his home in Indianapolis? Because he had such a disastrous couple seasons in New York with the Giants. Do you think he's finally found his home here in Indy?
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, listen, the Colts, they've been very transparent this entire offseason about this quarterback competition. And I think it's twofold. I think Anthony Richardson's lack of availability, and I think his production or lack thereof on the field when he has played so far in his first 2 years in the NFL, those two things have forced the Colts' hand. And they are bringing in competition in the form of Daniel Jones to push Anthony Richardson, but also knowing that they have to have an insurance policy because the guy's only played in 15 games so far in his first 2 years in the NFL. And it's, quite frankly, it's time to go. This is a roster that was good enough to make the playoffs last year. And I don't want to boil it down to one thing, right? Because it's not just one thing, and it's not about just one guy. But, this is very much my opinion, but I think if they had more consistent quarterback play last year, I thought that was a playoff team. That's a good enough roster to make the playoffs. And that's why you see, with the lack of consistency at the quarterback position the last couple of years, that's why you see the Colts still not bottoming out. They don't go 4-12, they don't go 3-14 because the roster around the quarterback is just too good. So imagine if they can get quarterback consistency from one of those guys this upcoming season. And that's my point. The Colts don't care who it is. They just need one of those two guys to give them a good shot to win. And I think both of them have a chip on their shoulder for different reasons. If Anthony Richardson ends up reaching or coming close to fulfilling his potential and becoming more consistent and becoming a more accurate quarterback, the Colts will take that. If Daniel Jones ends up being this year's version of Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, where he has career resurgence with a different team and a different coach and a different scheme, the Colts will take that too. They don't care. They need one of those guys to step up and give them a good chance to win every Sunday, because I think the roster around the quarterback does that for the Colts, gives them a good chance. But we all know it's the most important position in sports. Don't want to say it's about one guy, but we all know that that position means an awful lot in the NFL.
Absolutely, it does. Matt Taylor, the voice of the Colts, joining us this morning. And you said something about Daniel Jones. I had a chance to look at the game last weekend, and that Daniel Jones that played the majority of the snaps, that Daniel Jones looked like the one I saw when he was at Duke. And to echo one of your points now, if this is his time, he needs to step up and take it. This Daniel Jones that I saw last Saturday looked good. And go ahead.
I think the word you're looking for is comfortable. He looks more comfortable with that offense than he ever did in New York.
Well, I agree with you guys. And, think about the biggest compliment that I can give Daniel Jones since he's been with the Colts, and it's only been since March, is that he doesn't look like a guy that's only been here since March. And that's hard. That's really hard to do when you're the new guy, and especially with how, this roster has become immune, if you will, to the new guy, because there's been so many quarterbacks coming in. It's been obviously very well chronicled about the number of quarterbacks the Colts have signed and started and played due to injury and since Andrew Luck's retirement. But I give him a lot of credit because the guys really enjoy Daniel Jones. And he comes in and he is just high degree of professionalism, masters the playbook, knows where to go with the football, doesn't put it in harm's way. And he's pushing the ball down the field, at least in practice, more than I thought we would see. It's not that just because we haven't seen him do it throughout the course of his career doesn't mean that he can't. And I think the Colts are stressing that out of him in this offense, within this playbook. Like chunk plays within this scheme are very important. And they're very important in the NFL. Tangent-wise, you look at the box score. Like if you don't see who wins games based on the score, if you just looked at the box score and you said who won the game, well, the two biggest determinants, in my opinion, are turnovers, who wins the turnover battle, and then which team has more big plays. Oftentimes, is the winner of the game. So they need that out of whichever quarterback wins this job. But, nothing against Daniel Jones in New York and the skill players around him and the weapons that he had at his disposal there. But they got way more here with the Colts, way more. He never had, 3 receivers over 800 yards. He never had a Tyler Warren. He had Saquon Barkley, but he also has Jonathan Taylor as well, right? So I'm just if he ends up winning this job, I'm confident that the Colts are going to be in every game with him because of the way that he plays, his professionalism. He does have NFL Sunday level accuracy, right? He's a career 65% completion percentage guy. Twice in his career, he's over 67%. I mean, you can win with those numbers. Absolutely, you can win with those numbers, especially with a new defensive scheme. Hopefully that's going to be better on the other side of the ball to keep the Colts in games. So, yeah, I mean, if you told me right now, if you gave me a crystal ball and you said, hey, fast forward 3 weeks, who's going to be the starter for the Colts week 1, and you told me it was Daniel Jones, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I really wouldn't. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's Anthony Richardson either because the competition's been that neck and neck. So I think it goes without saying that today, a joint practice with the Packers and 2 more preseason games, I mean, those are huge. Those are absolutely enormous, and that's going to be the biggest storyline within this team for the next 3 weeks is how do these marquee events help determine who's going to play quarterback week 1 in that huge game right out of the gate against the Dolphins.
You mentioned the Packers. That's your next preseason opponent. That's the only home preseason game at Lucas Oil Stadium. You get a chance to look at another young quarterback in Jordan Love. What's it going to mean for the Colts defense to get a look at guys like Jordan Love and taking something personal, speed the car down to week 16? You see Brock Purdy and young quarterbacks like that throughout the course of the season. How big is that Colts defense going to be to adjust to quarterbacks like that?
Well, unfortunately, Jordan Love's not going to play. He's got a thumb injury. He got banged up in their first preseason game against the Jets. And so he had a surgery this week, so he's not going to play. But they think he's going to be ready to go for as early as next week or, definitely week 1 for them. So they won't see him. But they did get to see Lamar Jackson in practice last week for the Ravens, so that was beneficial. Perhaps they see Joe Burrow next week. I don't know how the Bengals are going to operate and use their starters in that final preseason game. But, yeah, there's a chance that they could see some really good skill players from the Packers despite, no quarterback. I mean, they still have guys like Romeo Doubs, and they drafted Matthew Golden. He's a rookie out of Texas, really good wide receiver, a lot of potential there. I don't know if Jacobs is going to play at the running back position. Malik Willis is going to probably start the game. But, you go back to week 2 last year, the Colts played them at Lambeau, and the Packers just ran all over the Colts. So, listen, it's a preseason game. There's not going to be a whole lot of game planning going on and stuff like that. But as it relates to this joint practice, it is a chance to just see, you're going to line up and play vanilla defense if you're the Colts. But you just want to see guys play football. You want to see them play smart. You want to see them play fast. And just, flash the reasons and the traits as to why you are in camp. Get off blocks. Maintain leverage, keep guys in front of you, play within the scheme, right? So, those are the biggest things that you're wanting to see, especially towards the back end of the roster to see who makes this team when you have to go from 90 guys to 53 on, I think it's August 26th.
One fundamental that you and I talk about a lot on our chats here on the show as Matt Taylor joins us throughout the season, third down. The last 2 years on third down, the Colts have had so much difficulty getting off the field. That was one of the things you brought up when you first became a frequent guest on the show. Talk about it again heading into the season. How big is it going to be for the Colts defense to get off the field on third down?
Yeah, it's funny. I had this debate with some guys, and we were just kind of kicking around, killing some time, and we said, would you rather be, if you had a choice, your favorite team's defense for the entire season, would you rather be top 5 in takeaways, or would you rather be top 5 in third down defense? And you only got to pick one, right? So you couldn't have one without the other, but you could only pick one. And A lot of guys just had to sit there and think about it for a long time because they're both really important and they're both, very, integral to having a good defense and winning football games. And so, some guys would pick turnovers or takeaways and some guys would pick third down. Obviously that's splitting hairs because they're so important. But, if you put a gun to my head, I'm probably more of a third down guy because last year the Colts gave up the second most third down conversions in the NFL. And that just speaks to a couple things, right? You're not very good on first and second down, so teams are getting into third and short, third and 3 or less. Those are advantage offense situations. And it also leads to a huge discrepancy in time of possession. And you're just not going to win football games if your defense is playing, 35, 37, or in the case of that Packers game last year, over 40 minutes of game action. You're just not going to win football games when your defense is being taxed that much and seeing so many downs, thrown at them. So, it's one of those things where you got to have both, but, you're putting so much stress and so much pressure on your offense when they do get into the game if you can't get off the field on third down. And specifically, too, for the Colts offense, they can get better on third down offensively. They were 18th last year in the NFL in conversion rate. So it's not like they don't have any, areas to improve. You want to see that number, be in the top 10, right around 50% or hovering in the 40s. So, takeaways are huge, but I think third down defense just means so much because if you're poor on third down, you're on the field a ton. The war of attrition starting to weigh you down. The other team's starting to get into a groove, and it just keeps your offense, your own offense on the other sideline just sitting there on ice, getting cold and you're unable to, find that rhythm and find that groove that you need to have on offense to score points and win games.
Speaking of scoring the points, I'm looking over some of the stats myself. The biggest thing that it looked like Indianapolis had as a problem last year was red zone on both sides of the ball. 54% on the offensive, 61% defensive. So they were giving up a lot more points in the red zone than most teams last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a problem too. There's no doubt about it. So red zone, that's like its own game within the game. I think that so often determines the outcome of a game, whether defensively you can rise up, bow your neck and force a 3 or, at best get a takeaway inside the red zone. Those are just demoralizing opportunities when you have, a first and goal and you only come away with 3 or you get no points at all. So that's probably where the Colts have struggled the most, by the way, in camp so far is in the red zone. The field, it's just hard, right? The field shrinks. The field shrinks. The windows and the angles get tougher. The defense is closer to the line of scrimmage, depending on where you are in the red zone. The defensive coordinators get more aggressive inside the red zone. So, it goes without saying, especially in the playoffs, those games are won or lost inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, because a lot of times during Snowman's calls of Colts games, especially when it was third and short, third and 2, third and 3,
oh my
and you're in the 10-yard line, it's like just couldn't get the ball over. And again, and I'll ask the question: do you think that they'll start to trust Jonathan Taylor more? Because it seemed like so many times, especially last year, that there should have been times where you just put it in the gut of Jonathan Taylor, and he'll get you those 2, 3, 4, 5 yards. And he just refused to do it. And it put a lot of pressure on Anthony Richardson to try and be a playmaker.
Well, I would refute that a little bit because if you go back and if you paid attention to the Colts the last 6 or 7 games of the season last year, it was all Taylor. He had over half of his carries for the season in the last 6 games of the season. That's how much of a workhorse he was down the stretch, and that kept him in the hunt for the playoffs. Taylor for the season averaged over 21 carries per game. That was the highest workload in the NFL last year. And it was also the highest workload for the Colts by a running back since Edgerrin James in 2005. So I would actually, I would want to see that workload be scaled back a little bit because not that I don't think Jonathan Taylor's good enough to, ride him for a win where you win a game, 17-13. I think every game has its own formula to win. So I'm not downplaying that. But what I am saying is that the reality is so far in Jonathan Taylor's career, he's rushed for over 1,400 yards for a season twice and the Colts haven't made the playoffs in either of those seasons.
Yeah.
So you've got to have the passing game. You've got to balance out Jonathan Taylor with a more consistent passing game. It's the intermediate part of the field. It's, those 10 to 15 to 20-yard gains between the numbers where the Colts have consistently struggled the last couple of years. Anthony Richardson last year, 47.7 completion percentage. They have to have the passing game complement the running game, because in this league, it can't just be about one guy. I know Jonathan Taylor's a freak. He can rip off a 65-yard gain and bring the house down and give you a ton of momentum. But you have to have the passing game. And if the Colts don't have it, I don't see them making the playoffs this year, because, again, the proof's in the pudding. Taylor can be an absolute animal, but that's just not good enough in this modern day of NFL. It's hard to go. My point is, it's hard to go on a 10 to 12 play drive featuring Jonathan Taylor and score touchdowns. You've got to have those chunk plays like we talked about. The NFL is all about scoring and scoring quickly and efficiently, and you have to have those big plays to help you mitigate offensive drives and keep the other team, honest at the line of scrimmage, spread out within the box, and you can get those one-on-one matchups on the outside if, you have a threat of the passing game to help Jonathan Taylor lighten the box in the running game, if that makes sense. So a lot of cases, we have to run to set up the pass. I think the Colts have to pass to set up the run to help Jonathan Taylor.
He'll be joining us all throughout the season. You can hear him on the Colts Radio Network all throughout the year. One of my best friends in broadcasting and in life, the voice of the Indianapolis Colts, the one and only Matt Taylor, joining us here on this Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Matt, love you, buddy. Love your insight so much. Looking forward to your calls this year. Looking forward to covering the Colts this year.
You got it, guys. I appreciate you. I look forward to it, too.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
So, Snowman, who do you think is going to be one of those top-tier weapons that either Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson are going to have to, rely on in order to really get those 10, 15-yard strikes?
I will give you two of them. One is going to be Mo Alley Cox.
Okay.
Because traditionally the Colts love to go to the tight end for a big catch. Dallas Clark, hello.
Right.
And
you guys just drafted a tight end too, right?
Yep, out of Penn State. So they got to use their tight ends in the intermediate. The other player I will give you that can also be a deep weapon is going to be Alec Pierce.
Okay.
You've heard me call his name a few times.
Yep.
He can be the intermediate and the deep weapon as well.
But by the way, the tight end you're thinking about of Penn State is Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren.
Okay.
Yeah, Dallas Clark 2.0. We called him when we drafted him. Mm-hmm. So Warren's going to be huge. Mo Alley Cox is going to be very significant. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Warren gets the bulk of the big catches, the intermediate catches that we had just talked about, and you see Mo Alley Cox more on the goal line. Because with the frequent use of Mo Alley Cox as their tight end to get down the field,
right,
they got to have an extra set of hands to complete the drive.
I'll put it like this. One of my favorite plays in Madden is called the play action scissors, where
I know what you're talking about.
Yep,
I've run that a few times.
Where you have your wide receiver 1 and your tight end on the right side cross each other. I think that's a play that Mo Alley Cox will make bank with.
Yeah, I think so. If they use the two tight ends, Warren and Mo Alley Cox, you got Michael Pittman. I'll tell you another wild card, Victor. Since we're talking Colts this morning, we'll stay with them. I'll tell you another wild card that will benefit the Colts. His name is Josh Downs. He wears number 1.
Okay.
Josh Downs primarily is a slot receiver, but he can make the intermediate catches as well. I've seen him do it all year. Also, we had a second round. I'm looking at the roster here. Second round pick, A.D. Mitchell out of Texas is going to get some more time. But the thing I fear with A.D. Mitchell, he's got to hold on to the ball. There have been so many third down conversions to come his way, to come Josh Downs' way, and they haven't been able to reel in the pass.
So it's drops. Okay.
Some of that is drops. Some of that the wrong pattern is run.
Well, when you say can't hold on to the ball, I was wondering if he was like, fumbling. That's why I was like,
yeah, he was. A lot of times they would juggle. They would juggle the pass. A lot of times they would juggle the pass, and of course their main guy, Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah,
going to be huge. At
Chicago
the
Bears. Hello. Yeah, I'll be doing that too.
Yeah.
That I love that. But thank you to Matt Taylor. Wonderful insight as always. And whenever we have announcers on, if you all have some questions, drop them in the chat and we'll drop them as we go along our football season here. Because I plan to have all 32 radio voices on this program. That's my plan. Let's take a break. When we come back, I don't know what the heck we're going to do, but it's going to be.
I have a couple of things to address.
Oh boy.
Well,
boy.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that. One I already talked to Dog about, and I'm looking.
Are we gonna have another appearance of the random musings?
You may.
Oh,
you may.
Then I'm gonna say yes. The musings when y'all get back.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned. Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action. With live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service, we got it all. And when you sign up today and use the code SNOWMAN, you will get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
'Cause we take this job so serious.
You fool!
Delete! 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 Delete!
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
I've been trying to figure out what in the all types of blue hell myself.
We'll never know.
Yeah, it makes
I don't want to know. I just don't want to know. 46 after the hour. We got a great guest for Mike to Mike coming up at the top of the next hour. But for now, yeah, surprise.
Sound like a surprise. All right.
Surprise. Here we go. He's back. And so are the random musings of
Okay. So, just check the NFL valuations of NFL teams. Basically, how much they're worth.
Oh, no.
And guess
Oh,
who
no.
still holds the top spot? The Dallas Cowboys. The value now at $12.8 billion. 12.8, not million, but billion. Now,
yes.
Here's the thing that gets to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have people come at me and like maybe they don't have the money. They already signed a massive deal for Dak. They signed a massive deal for CeeDee Lamb. So maybe they don't have the money for Micah. Here's again. They're worth $12.8 billion.
I think I know where this is going.
This is not about money. This is again Jarrell's need to be needed.
Oh,
when you have Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith,
Michael Irvin.
When you have Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith both saying you need to get this done.
Yeah.
Two of your legendary status players, two of your legends,
Hall of Famers
who got you 3 rings at the very least.
Yep.
Why are you still dragging your feet? And then I heard something that scared me.
Oh,
It
no.
literally sent a chill down my spine.
And that is?
You know where Micah Parsons was originally from? Pennsylvania.
He played at Penn State.
Imagine the chill that went down my spine.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the possibility of Micah Parsons wearing that Kelly green of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, boy.
Talk about a monopoly.
Micah Parsons going home.
You're talking about a monopoly. You're talking about basically the steel curtain the Philadelphia Eagles now setting over the NFC East. Being the next unbeatable team. And Jarrell is doing this over a pride thing. This is all a pride, an ego thing. If I find out.
Oh, no. Here we go with the dad threats. I love it.
If I find out that Micah ends up going to Philly, I will quit the season.
I had a backup question, but I'll leave it alone.
I will quit the season. I will not call I will start calling Bears games.
Now that's frightening.
That's just wrong.
And that's all I'll do. I'll call Bears games. I'll call Ravens games. I'll even call some Bengals games.
Bengals.
Speaking of which, something else that and I want to get the guys in on this. So Dan Orlovsky, if you guys know who that is,
I know.
Released his top 10 list for QBs, particularly about their mechanics, QB traits mechanics. At number 10, from 10 to 6.
I'm shutting up.
Justin Herbert at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff at 9.
All right.
At 8, Dak Prescott. At 7,
time. Run that by me again.
At 10, Justin Herbert. At 9, Jared Goff.
Dig it.
At 8, Dak Prescott. If you think that's bad, at number 7, and you're going to hate me for this, Snowman, Geno Smith.
Oh, hell no!
No.
At 6.
No.
At 6, CJ Stroud.
He's getting better.
At 5, Josh Allen.
Makes
At
sense.
4,
Yeah, makes sense.
Lamar Jackson.
No.
I question that.
At 3, Matthew Stafford.
What?
At 2, Jaden Daniels.
What?
And at number 1, Joe Burrow.
What?
Now I'll ask a question. Who's missing?
Brock Purdy.
Who else is missing?
Just Brock Purdy.
No.
Well,
There's one.
Okay. Jalen Hurts.
Who else is missing?
Who the hell else is missing?
He's already
Patrick Mahomes.
Exactamundo. And Dean's got it. How do you have, in terms of just QB mechanics, how do you leave off Brock Purdy
and
Patrick Mahomes was already won 2 chips?
How do you leave off Brock Purdy, the most recent Super Bowl champion in Jalen Hurts, and the man who can improvise more than Michael Jordan just on a football field and Patrick Mahomes?
How do you leave these people off?
Well, first of all, consider the source.
And then the thing is, again, I like Dak Prescott. Everyone knows that. But you rank him over Jared Goff?
One more time.
Oh, hell no!
One of the guys who got to the playoffs, and then one that didn't get to the playoffs. I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit confused.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
And then you rank Geno Smith above Jared too?
What?
Geno Smith.
Oh, that's rude. That's rude. How can the guy who ran out of the end zone on Thanksgiving
grade mechanics?
I can't wait to have Deets on, because maybe he sees
he'll
what
be
I
on
don't.
tomorrow. While we get our mechanics together, Deets will be on tomorrow, and it may be a full Hollywood Squares episode tomorrow. Go on, Victor.
But again, it's just I like Joe Burrow. I'm gonna just be 100 with you. I really like.
What is Orlovsky rank? What are these rankings again?
This is on just QB traits on terms of mechanics.
Look, Dan Orlovsky ran out of the end zone when Jared Allen was coming to plant his ass in the dirt.
Right.
Let me say that again, and you're wrong, Damian Hernandez.
Oh, no, not again.
Yes, again. He's going to troll. I'm going to troll back. I'll just say it out loud.
Use a troll.
Troll! Matter of fact, give me this button.
Do it.
Hey, Damian.
Use a troll. Troll! Use a troll. Troll! Use a troll. I said that use a troll.
Troll, shut up.
Are you kidding me?
Stop No, I'm not kidding you, Paul Allen. Now go see your therapist.
Hey, Damien, do me a favor.
Stop the cap.
Victor, go on, please, before I take this on a tangent I shouldn't.
Well, and even D says, "Oh, and by the way, I intercepted Orlovsky twice in high school." That's crazy. But again, it goes to. It's not just Orlovsky, right? I could just go on a tangent about Orlovsky, but it just shows that ESPN
hires the stupidest people to grade the most important.
Yes.
Let me say that. Let me say that again. Start the sentence again, Victor.
ESPN hires
the most stupid people ever to grade the most important position.
Yes.
Like small forward, perhaps.
Oh no.
I'll leave it there.
Yes, please leave it there.
I was about to say, I think we all know ESPN's mentality for whoever they sign.
You big dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big cold-blooded dummy. You big dummy. See what you did? Oh, no, you big dummy.
Look.
One quick tangent. I found out something wild, Victor.
Okay.
Guess who is the Houston Rockets color analyst?
Who?
Does the name Ryan Hollins mean anything to you?
And who is he calling for?
Houston Rockets.
Well, they're cursed.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. There's my tangent. Go on, Victor.
Ryan Moronic Hollins. Anyway. Okay, but it's just, again, when you talk about just like in terms of mechanics, right? You're leaving off, in my opinion, one of the brightest stars in the NFC West in Brock Purdy. Say what you want. The dude already made a Super Bowl trip. And was one quarter away from actually holding hosting a title.
Yep. Hey, Damien, who's your team? I think I know the answer, but I need a reminder. Go on, Victor.
You then have the guy who already had 2 chips back to back, has 3 total, and almost went for a 3-peat.
Patrick Mahomes.
And then you leave out the guy who stopped the 3-peat.
Jalen Hurts.
How are these 3 guys
not on
a top 10 list? Unless you're saying that their mechanics are not what got them their success. That's the only way I can think of.
You can't say that.
Unless you're saying that.
Say that.
Unless you're saying that their mechanics doesn't work. Because, look, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He is known to own defenses.
I'll say no more. I'll just
look
agree.
At Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Cincinnati.
How is Purdy top 10 when he can't win a game without weapons around him like Debo, CMC, Ayuk, Kittle? He went to the NFC Championship and a Super Bowl and got dog walked. Well, he didn't get dog walked. He only lost in overtime.
He lost a Super Bowl to Patrick Mahomes with 3 seconds left in overtime.
That ain't exactly a dog walking.
Who's your
That's
team?
not a dog walking.
Damien, who's your team and who's your quarterback?
And ask yourself this question, Damien.
And I think
name a quarterback that has won with no weapons around him that can just take any dog water team and just win by himself.
I can't name a quarterback.
2001 New England Patriots, Tom Brady.
Yeah, but he had weapons around him too.
But see,
not a whole lot.
I question that. I question that, and I mean this playfully, because that was Drew Bledsoe's team. Tom Brady just made it better.
Yeah.
And then Greg Beaker got robbed.
It's
that's a debate that will go on forever and ever.
It's why I get so aggravated. It's why I get so aggravated when people talk about, oh, these people are just products of the system that they're in. Of course, every quarterback is a product of the system that they're in. That's why teams, owners need to put systems around their quarterbacks, around their players to make them successful. Gerald.
Thank you.
Okay, there's Damien's biggest issue.
There's Damien. Y'all don't have a quarterback.
No.
Y'all don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Damien. I know you're dealing with the Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy, who think that QB Zesty is going to become a 4,000 yard throwing quarterback.
And he would be the first Bear quarterback to toss for 4,000 yards.
QB Zesty getting 4,000 yards this year.
Shut up, bitch.
So I do feel for Desi Hernandez on that front, because
I feel for him on that front.
You have to deal with morons sitting there saying we're gonna make it to the.
You know who else, Damien? And I love getting Damien back with this. You know who Damien has to deal with?
Mm-hmm. DJ Moore.
J. Moore.
I mean, he also has to deal with the fact that the Bears haven't really mattered since 1985.
Not even in 2006.
Nope. Because the only one that really mattered then was Devin Hester.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Devin Hester's the only reason the Bears were relevant.
You read my mind.
Sure.
Actually, I stand corrected. The only other time that the Bears were relevant was Roseanne.
Well, I'll put it this way. Couple Bears that I liked in between 85 and current. Thomas Jones, Cedric Benson, Matt Forte.
Yeah, Forte.
Actually, Deets,
Desmond
I can remember who started before Patrick Mahomes. His name is Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
He had the quarterback duties before Patrick Mahomes took the whole damn thing over.
Let's not forget Matt Castle was there too.
Matt Castle
was there. Alex Smith was, but it was mainly Alex Smith
Who made me really be angry with Kansas City fans because when he got hurt, everyone cheered.
He ain't the only one. Tim Couch, anybody?
Yeah.
Go on, Victor.
Not Dallas Clark. Desmond Clark. Greg Olson.
You always mix those two up because of the last name.
Because of the last name. And both of them were very intricate parts of their offense. Because I would say if I had to pick two tight ends, it would be Dallas and Desmond, the Clark boys.
I hate you, Napoleon.
Oh no. Someone at MLB needs to tell John Fisher about how to build a proper team. Coworker and I were talking about the Mason Miller trade. Why would they do that? He asked. That's a good question.
I'll provide an answer in a moment.
All right, but I'll just close my muse with this. The Cowboys are going to end up pigeonholing us again because of pride, unless something else happens, unless they get their head collected behind and say, look, are we ready to win a Super Bowl right now? No. But we need at least tools to get us there, and Micah is one of them unless you have a replacement.
Which they don't.
Which we don't.
What's my hate on DJ Moore? He's a 3 at best. And it's not hate. Heart and soul, my ass. They have better receivers in Carolina. They just elevated
Steven
DJ
Smith,
Moore.
Anyone?
They just elevated DJ Moore for some reason.
I remember the DJ Moore.
And Damian, I hate to burst the bubble. He ain't doing good in Chicago. Don't believe the hype.
We'll see what he does this year, but
it's all hype.
You're gonna deal with Roma Dunze. You're gonna deal with a couple other guys.
I'll make Roma Dunze. You know what? Let me piss this Bear fan off.
Oh no! Don't you dare! I know what you do.
You know what you do? You jettison DJ Moore.
Okay.
So where does he go?
I thought you were gonna make him a fifth stringer again.
He's not the league. No one takes a chance on him.
So you want him to Canada? Yeah.
I'm totally kidding.
He goes up to Canada and flounders there too.
Like Johnny Manziel.
Oh.
Oof.
Oh.
You give Roma Dunze you give Roma Dunze the captaincy at wide receiver. You make Roma Dunze WR1 and you jettison DJ Moore to the 6th string.
Okay,
so the concession stands.
And yes, I'm laughing as I say that.
So you send DJ Moore to the concession stands. Okay.
Not even the concession stands want him.
Oh.
So who do you put WR2 then?
Who cares? It's the Bears. Let them figure it out.
But again, if you're going to make that decision, you have to
you know who they had at 1 and 2?
Who?
And because of Caleb Williams, he left. WR1 was Keenan Allen.
Well, when
Caleb screwed it up.
I wouldn't even say it was Caleb. I would say that was more because if you're gonna work under Matt Eberflus, you'd want to trade too.
Caleb screwed it up by opening his big mouth.
Well, he's QB Zesty. He can't help it.
Well, Zesty.
QB Zesty and Saucy. Yeah, we need to see it.
Oh, bad joke. I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, I'm done with my musings. Because that whole TJ Moore going to the 6th string just did it for me.
Did I get you?
Yep. And no, Damien, you would not take DJ Moore over Ayuk or CD.
Ayuk is better. Ayuk is better injured than DJ Moore.
And whoever the Pats have, it's called Stephon Diggs.
Ricky Pearsall, a 2nd-year player, is better than DJ Moore.
You can take Antonio. No, you wouldn't.
Who the hell is DJ Moore anyway?
I was gonna say you can take Antonio Brown over DJ Moore. No, you wouldn't.
Hell no.
I wouldn't want to deal with that clown show.
I wouldn't trust Antonio Brown.
Scary Terry. I would take him.
McLaurin. Yeah, I'll take McLaurin.
Jahan Dotson. I'll take him.
In fact, Terry McLaurin may be headed west.
Agreed.
but you ain't hear it from me.
Agreed.
Yes,
I played the card. Pod agreed.
Pod agreed. Yes, yes, indeed. All right. Those are the random musings of Now I've been wanting to do this for a year, and now I get a chance.
Okay.
Mike to Mike is back, powered by Fanatics. And let's welcome one of the ultimate fans behind the mic. We're going out to the West Coast. Please help me welcome Brian Fonseca. What's up, Fonzie?
Well, good morning, or good late morning there where you are.
Yeah,
how you
close,
doing, man?
It's close to lunch hour here in the Northeast.
Yeah, I should have set my time. I should have set my watch ahead. You know, they always say it's harder going west to east, right, than east to west.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had to do it a few times. One of the most difficult sports, welcome to the show. One of the most difficult sports that I learned to call on the fly is volleyball. I did it at Chicago State for 10 years. Tell the fans, if you would, take the fans through a volleyball match broadcast, because it's insane. And I started doing it the year they introduced rally scoring. It's insane.
Well, it's definitely fast and a lot of fun. What I found in general is after years that the athletes and the coaches really appreciate the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they were great. They've been great about it. I've been fortunate to cover. So I had some big West matches last year, and I got to cover Hawaii, which was a real thrill actually to cover the Wahine Rainbow. So, but yeah, it's so fast. And the hardest thing I've noticed, at least from my vantage point, is you sit kind of low. So you're right at midcourt. Actually, I'm a little bit to the right, which is close to the visiting bench, which is a great seat, you would think. But now I'm also an old basketball coach, so keep that in mind. Basketball coach used to being up. You kind of have the whole floor in sight. You have the officials in sight. There's no bar. There's no net. You don't have people walking in front of you very often. You're walking in front of people.
Yes.
So that's what I noticed at first, that it's really hard. At first, I felt like I was just, it was just going so fast. And I found that it was really hard to watch. The net's in the way, the players, the officials kind of walk. Where is the official? You have one you have one up top, you have one at the net. So in basketball, you can kind of tell, or even football, right? Who makes the call? Where is it coming? And then originally, I would say the toughest challenge was learning the opposing team, the gals on the other team. You know, you try to study ahead of time. You look at their nice pictures on the media guide or on the website, and they're really nice, and they look a lot different. Boy, once they play, everybody's got ponytails, typically blonde, not all, but they're long hair, so you can't read the names. So all of a sudden, things just really sped up. So even though I loved it at first, it was like, wow, there's a lot going on, and it seems like it's really fast. So what I realized early is you've got to be able to try to figure out some way to recognize the individuals. Like, for example, you're wearing a pink shirt. I love it. So I love the players who had maybe little different laces on, or who maybe colored their hair. Anything I could see, that was a gift to get started.
Yeah.
Letting them show their personality a little bit.
Yeah, and so as a coach, I know, you remember thinking, God, why don't they just take care of themselves? And you want them to look the same. But now as an announcer, I'm like, I don't mind a little bit of the gal who has their little bit different shoestring or anything. Now, I also have to joke, because as I have grown into the sport, it really becomes so much about watching the setter.
Yes.
What's the setter doing? What's the setter moving? How's the setter moving? Some setters like to do drops. So watching the setters, but they actually like to blend in, and it's kind of their strategy that setters want to be hidden a little bit. So to me, that's again counterintuitive announcing. I want to know where the setter is. It's kind of like, imagine a quarterback, right, hiding kind of every play, or you don't know where the quarterback is, or hey, where's the quarterback? Where's the point guard? Are they hiding in the play? So I found that to be really fascinating, because the setters are so are so fabulous. They're just wonderful volleyball players, and most of them can set and hit. And so I found that a trick too, to really kind of notice the setter and recognize the setter and what do they like. Some can block really well. So those are a couple of things: how fast it is, recognizing players, and also trying to recognize the setter. And again, that vantage point with the net and bodies, it was just a little bit. I felt a little bit out of my comfort zone. As a basketball coach, you can just you can walk on the floor and you can zoom into everything. Now I felt like everything was kind of going across my vision.
Everything's right there in front of you. Who are some of the voices that inspired you to pursue play-by-play announcing?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, I have to go back. I don't want to tell my age, but you can probably guess if you can know how many Super Bowls there have been when Super Bowl and my birthdays are not far apart. So I would say the announcers that stick out are the college basketball, watching Billy Packer, Al McGuire, Dick Berg. I think those are the guys that probably I loved. As a matter of fact, I grew up, watching college basketball, Magic Bird. That was right in my kind of wheelhouse. Again, showing you how old I am, unfortunately. But those three. And to me, what I loved about Al McGuire is he just made basketball fun.
Yes.
Now, you go back later, look at his memoirs. How prepared was he? But the French pastry, the aircraft carrier, he really made it fun for me. So those were the three. But then being a West Coast guy, I always listened to sports. We were the crazy family. My father and I, that would drive my family crazy. We'd have one game on TV and we had a big stereo console in the back, so we'd have another game on. I grew up really enjoying Bill King as a basketball and radio announcer in the West Coast. Holy Toledo, the Raiders. You probably hear some of his.
I remember Billy. I remember Billy so well.
And he was great with basketball. I always thought he was with the Warriors. He was really good. He's so fast, and he was obviously very intelligent. So he would say words that I didn't understand. And then I'd say on a national scene, really Dick Engberg. Oh my! He had this. He kind of reminds me of himself. He always had this kind of peppy personality. He seemed to call all the sports I liked. He was basketball. He was football. He also did tennis. I'm a little bit of a tennis aficionado, if I may say. So I just thought he always brought joy. And maybe what I realized, now I'm a Northern California guy, so I grew up near Sacramento, give or take. Actually, my house almost halfway between Sacramento and the Oakland Coliseum. That was kind of my house, small town.
Very nice.
But I always liked Dick Engberg, and I don't know if that was something about I had this attraction because he was a Southern California guy. Well, actually, he was a Midwest guy who transplanted to Southern California.
He transplanted.
But I just really enjoyed. He always another one that seemed fun. Oh my, didn't seem a homer. So those are probably the guys that have stuck out. Now then, as I've kind of lately watching a little bit of soccer or football, as we say, JP Camarena, I love his calls. So that would kind of be. I mentioned I'm a Raider fan, so obviously John Madden walked a little bit on water. Where I was from.
Just a little bit. I love John Madden.
And he seemed like the real man's man, right? He didn't seem any pretenses. He was so I kind of grew up, again, I've given away a little bit of my biases there, but so those would be the guy, Enberg, McGuire, Packer. Those would be that I really, and I just thought fun, and they brought fun to the telecast. I really like the Angels announcers, is Rory and Mark Gubaza. I really enjoy them. The Yankees announcers I've enjoyed. I think just the different, being again, I have my West Coast accent, right? We Californians, we don't have an accent. So the Yankees I've enjoyed, just the different, but that's kind of the group. But I really. If I had to go back to one, I would say Dick Enberg, but I think it's because I heard him so many places: football, basketball, even the tennis. But I grew up. My mom, I guess, my mother was the Olympic sport person, so we always grew up watching Winter Olympics, watching tennis. Actually, 4th of July was Wimbledon. As crazy as that sounds.
England,
I'm not sure how that exactly goes. Peggy Fleming, I think, was my first crush. the flowing ice skater.
Who didn't have a crush on Peggy Fleming growing up? Okay, come on. I had a crush on Peggy Fleming.
Just so graceful, right? You
Yeah.
talk about Dancing with the Stars. She was all about lines, and again, that was my. I could tell you some other crushes, but that's probably our G-rated one we can keep.
Yes.
There was a roller derby movie too with Raquel Welch. I'll just leave it at that.
Leave it there.
That kind of burned some things in my brain too. But Peggy Fleming and just the class. So I'll stick to Peggy. How's that?
One of the announcers I grew up listening to back home in Chicago, you said about Al McGuire making the game fun. For me, that identifiable voice was Johnny Red Kerr, who sat alongside Jim Durham for many, many years. And whenever you see Michael Jordan's tongue out, ready to do something stupid to the opponent, you know Johnny's going to explode. And I'd wait for that. So I had Johnny Kerr, John Madden, as you mentioned. I love Dick Enberg. Love Dick Enberg. I used "Oh My" on a couple of occasions in 30 years, but only a couple. But one of my favorite baseball voices, the first baseball voice I ever heard, was the late great Vin Scully. Vin Scully and Saturday afternoon baseball was it for me and my dad. I didn't care if mom told me to go outside and play. Dad would race upstairs and said, "We're sneaking down to the basement and we're going to watch some baseball." So just to hear Vin Scully's voice, and I hear it in my head every time I take the microphone to do a baseball game, that was one of my guiding lights for the sport.
He's so smooth. I think Venice is so smooth right now. Because I grew up a Northern California guy, I don't know if I had a little bit. I was not a Giants fan. A lot of my friends are, but I am not. I mentioned it. And also, as growing up as an A's fan, there was an old announcer, Charlie Moore, and he was really a bit of a homer. Oh my! And so I think I grew up kind of a little bit of a probably homer. Also, again, I have to chuckle. It's a little different era when you talk about Oakland A's and Oakland Raiders.
Yes.
Right? A little bit of the underdogs, the rebels, I don't have it anymore, but longer hair, right? The mustaches. So I think probably even the announcers resonated that. And I probably gravitated a little bit, initially to the kind of rebel. I liked Tim McMahon when he was a quarterback. I kind of just gravitated to but that's why I think Michael Jordan is so fun, because he has a lot of that. He's such a great player, and he went to Carolina, but he just seems like a rebel at heart, right? It always seems like his mom, kind of kept him in check. But he likes to gamble a little bit. He likes to do what the boys are doing, right? So I chuckle. But you mentioned Vin is so smooth, and that's why I think Rory. Gosh, his last name escapes me. The Angels announcer, same thing, just that smooth that you almost don't know you're listening. Johnny Miller with the Giants is also very good at that.
Adios, pelota.
Exactly. He's also very. It feels like those gentlemen feel like you're in your living room.
Yeah,
Dick Enberg, I think, had that too. Maybe it's that Midwest charm when you mix that Midwest. Right? Isn't that there's something about it?
Yeah, there is.
Johnny Miller on ESPN was huge for me growing up in the 90s because of the work he put in. So that's one of the voices I had growing up with was his.
And he's another one, right? So smooth.
Yeah.
And I don't know if all those gentlemen had radio backgrounds too. So the art of storytelling.
I know Miller does, because he was the voice of the Baltimore Orioles for many years. And now he's been many years the voice of the San Francisco Giants. Another voice I grew up listening to, especially for baseball, was John Rooney, when he was the voice of the White Sox for many years. And I had the unexpected pleasure of meeting John Rooney in 2005 when they won the World Series, because my friend, after I had a situation happen that left me down in the dumps, my friend came to get me, and he said, "We're going to go to Sox Fest." I said, "Really? Okay, cool." Yeah. He surprised me by dragging me into this lecture hall, which had a ton of seats and a microphone in the middle of the floor. And I'm going, "What are you doing to me?" And then I hear not only John Rooney, I also hear Ed Farmer come out.
Oh, wow.
I turned and looked at him and I go, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "Wow. Yeah, Got his autograph too.
That's good. And now I also grew up a little bit listening to Lindsey Nelson with the Notre Dame.
Yes.
Now, only because of, again, West Coast. I don't know. There used to be a show on Sundays. They'd replay the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was an hour. And I was young to start. I could always figure out how do they cut out the game because the line would be in now later on or remove. And I'm like, how did they do that? Are they Devoing the game already? It's 1970-ish. So Lindsey Nelson, but I always felt he was so serious. But again, in my worldview as well, that was Notre Dame football. You have to be serious. Where the others seem to have so much fun. So
Lindsey Nelson did the replay for Notre Dame for many years. Harry Callis did it for many years. Longtime voice of the Phillies, and of course they would edit it out, and I would be up so early, waiting to watch the replay of that with Harry Callis or Lindsey Nelson. What I loved about Lindsey Nelson, and I know I'm dating myself with this, when Lindsey Nelson was at CBS, I loved his jackets. His jackets were out of control, and I loved them.
Old school.
Absolutely old school.
And what it looks like is almost right. Like there's a long time where announcers almost became there was a form, right, or everybody kind of looked the same, dressed the same, almost the same tone. But almost seems like now we've gone full cycle. Now personalities are coming back, right?
Yep.
Having a little personality, having a little. I don't know if you want to call it a shtick, but you look great, by the way. See, I love the pink. I'm in the purple. You look great. And so I think, that's all coming back. But I do remember that he seemed to be I always thought was the bar a little bit. So I'm giving my biases. Gosh, I don't like to think I'm a West Coast biased guy, but I guess I am. The more
I was about to say, you guys talk about suits. The first name that really comes to mind for me, Craig Sager.
Oh,
Craig
yeah.
Sager.
Yeah.
Yes.
How fun.
Those were wild.
But you know the fun part about Sager? The first time he had a wild jacket like that was totally accidental. And it became a thing. Deed says something very important. He says the first key to calling any sporting event is storytelling. The broadcaster has to make the audience feel like they're listening to a story rather than watching a product. That is so true. That's one reason I loved Vin Scully and I love Jim Durham and Jack Buck, Pat Summerall, Dick Enberg, and all the old schoolers, Al Michaels included when he was with ABC. All the storytelling just fit right in. And he also backs it up with this. Chris says that's the problem with current day. They view it as a product and not as a story to immerse ourselves in for a few hours. That's absolutely true. That's why I stick with my style, the old school, and learning about the players. Fonz, you mentioned it. Learning about the players, getting to know them, having little nuggets in your head about them, and you find ways to weave them in.
Mm-hmm.
You're making me think as we go. All of a sudden, I'm having these flashes of college football. Keith, I'm drawing O'Nelly.
Keith Jackson.
I'm drawing
Keith Jackson.
Keith Jackson. And I remember every once in a while, Frank Broyles.
Yes.
That Southern accent.
That Southern drawl.
When I kind of thought of the South, right, I thought of Frank Broyles, but he was so interesting and such a different. That's too dark, huh? Yeah. He was so different. So I really loved, that college football, and I think that was probably every Saturday it was on. Baseball would be too, but college football you could count on.
Yes.
I grew up loving. Still probably one of my favorite matchups, USC Notre Dame. Just the pageantry, the little bit of rivalry. It's not East versus West. It's more Midwest versus West, but it feels right. Growing up as a California boy, it felt like. It's the one intersectional where it kind of meets and people don't really like, you either kind of like USC or Notre Dame or you don't.
You don't.
It's not like this love fest. There's a little bit of angst, right? With both, on both sides.
Oh man, this has been so delightful. We're up against the break, but I got to have you back on for a part 2 to this. Brian Fonseca joining us from the West Coast, joining us from California. Man, thank you so much. I love you very much. I got to have you on for a part 2, man. Got to have you back.
Okay. Be my pleasure.
Talking about storytelling for announcers, with me in NASCAR, the two names that come to mind, Ken Squire and Mike Joy.
Yes. Yes.
Those are definitely two of the top on that one.
We'll talk some more voices when y'all get back, because I got a few more that I love in different sports. We'll talk about them all. Post yours in the chat, and we'll talk about them too. Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey everyone, I'm joined by my old friend, Mr. Ellis Williams, aka Mr. Biggs. You called me and you told me, you said, man, I got Car Shield and it worked. What made you get it?
I have this old SUV and I know the manufacturer warranty is about to run out. I don't want to get stuck with expensive car repairs.
Right.
So I gave Car Shield a call. Coverage was very affordable and there was no long-term contract. A few months after that, transmission went on my car. I took it to my mechanic, they called Car Shield and saved my family on $2,400.
Car Shield is America's #1 auto protection company. Their administrators have paid out over $1 billion in claims and cover most vehicles from 5,000 to 150,000 miles. You'll receive 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental reimbursement at no additional charge.
Give Car Shield a call today before it's too late. Remember,
Car Shield cars go farther.
Protect yourself now against expensive auto repair bills. Call 800-513-9263.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony, or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Do you remember our first group photo? This is it. Smiles all around, even though we were all nervous.
Who could have imagined that our first weekend together would soon turn into a lifetime of memories?
You're an amazing young man. Your brothers and sisters really look up to you. They're a big brother.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
I ain't never felt so much love before in my life.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Damian Hernandez said something very true. His dog has come back with what would be amounting to a snack. He says, even though the Cubs sucked, it was always fun watching them, hearing Harry Carey talk. Man, you know how hilarious it was with Harry on the Cubs?
Mm-hmm.
I think he was one of the first ones I saw popularize doing the game in the stands.
Yeah, nowadays you have all the teams basically doing at least one game a week in the stands.
Yep.
I remember Harry being in the stands. They set up this little table for him out in the bleachers.
Mm-hmm.
So he had his scorecard, microphone, headphones, and of course, a pitcher of Bud Light.
There you go.
I did that at Ho Chunk one night.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Because Fran rewarded me with some beer.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? I take my act to the stand. Eli Gold for NASCAR. Love that.
Yes.
Eli Gold for the longest time was also the longtime voice of the Crimson Tide.
Still is, as far as I know, or he might have retired in the last
He
couple of
retired
years.
a few years ago.
Yeah. But no, Eli Gold on TNT and sometimes on CBS when they were doing the Truck in the Bush series. Oh my God, yes.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with those two. Jim Phillips for the Clemson back in the 80s and the 90s. Oh, his name is escaping me, for Auburn. He was a play-by-play voice recently for Auburn. Tragically died. I can't recall his name.
Give me a second.
I can't recall it. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. I can't recall his name. He called the kick six with Alabama and Auburn in 2013.
Rod Bramblett.
Thank you. That's the name I'm looking for. Rob Bramblett. While I'm doing some research, who are some of you guys' other favorite? He is in my. Thank you, Deeds. I couldn't recall his name.
I mean, for me, up here in the Northeast, obviously some of the big names that come to mind: Rem Dog for the Red Sox when he was doing color, Don Orsillo, Jack Caglione.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got Dave O'Brien on the stick.
Hey, Dave O'Brien is good. All right.
Of course, when it comes to the Bruins, Jack Edwards.
Jack Edwards.
I mean, there's no one else. Jack Edwards.
That's it, and that's all.
Exactly.
That is it, and that's all. And I got a treat for y'all. Speaking of Rob Bramblett, all I have to Phil Rizzuto. Holy cow! They're going. Yes. That New York accent, though, for Phil Rizzuto. That New York accent. I have a treat for y'all. Speaking of Rob Bramblett, we're gonna rewind back, and with college football coming up here very soon, we're gonna rewind back to. What? Damn it! We're gonna rewind back to. Hey! I can't do it. Why, you dirty? Yes, I can. Right here. Come here. Okay.
Even the truck is saying, I don't want to work today.
Look, the truck is saying, I don't want to work. I want to bang on the drum all day. Y'all know the second line to that. It includes a cuss word. I won't do it. So rewind back to 2013. Auburn, Alabama, Jordan-Hare Stadium. And all I have to say is 4 words. And then this happened.
End zone and single safety. So I guess if this thing comes up short, he can field it and run it out. All right, here we go. 56-yarder. Does not have the leg. And Chris Davis takes it to the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see. I cannot believe it. Oh, my God.
I was on a train headed home from Michigan City when that miraculous thing happened.
You know, for the longest time, speaking of football, growing up here in New England with the CBS coverage, 2 names that come to mind, the team of Greg Gumbel and Phil Simms.
Yeah.
Why not? How can you go wrong with those two? How can you go wrong with those guys? I have a present for you, Mr. Shane O'Mac.
Oh.
If I can find it.
Oh, by the way, for the Celtics, name I was thinking of recently retired Mike Gorman.
Mike Gorman. Can you not hear the East Coast? Can you not hear the East Coast accent in Mike Gorman all the way through?
Right.
Oh,
yeah, they're going to
is this
play the inbound.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I have something for Shane that is going to make him smile. Very big.
Okay.
Bigger than that doggone sandwich he's polishing off.
Just a little Italian sandwich from Walmart.
That ain't little.
No, I just cut it in half to make it look little.
I can't cut it in half. I've tried. Let's go back. Let's go back to the Boston Garden.
Oh.
The year is 1987.
The aforementioned Mike Gorman on the call.
How they're going to play the inbounder. They're going to give him an idea of a clear target. Red Auerbach for years felt you've got to get all over the inbound man. Don't give him a clear place to look to make the pass. Watch for the alley-oop, particularly if Sally's in the ball game. Sally is not going to be in. Dantley is going to be in. Vinnie Johnson, Isaiah, Mahorn, and Lambier.
Unbelievable.
And McHale is going to take the inbounder.
Oh, that is Gorman.
17 seconds to
It's
go.
Gorman and Santos.
Boston down 1. It comes to Dennis Johnson. Dumars has got him.
This is game 5 of the 87 playoffs.
Eyeball to eyeball
on the
with
Boston
Mahorn.
feed.
Goes baseline. Nobody home. Rodman the block. Out of bounds. Who's got it? Detroit ball with 5 seconds to go. Thomas wants to get it in quickly. Does to Lambier. Stolen by Bird on the cut to DJ. Yes! Yes, and a foul!
Yep. Gorman and Santos on the call for that one.
That was Tom Heinsohn on the call, I think.
In 87, it was Gorman and Santos on local.
I'm trying to find the call with Johnny Most, where his raspy voice.
And there's a steal by Bird.
That's the one. That's the one. That's the one I'm trying to find.
Down by 5 points in the fourth
And
quarter.
gummit. Well, not gonna have time to finish it. But yeah, you had Johnny Most with the Celtics. You had, of course, Jim Durham with the Chicago Bulls for many years. When I say many years, I mean just that. Many.
I think I may have found what you're looking for.
Bring it, please. I gotta hear it.
All right, hang on just a split second here.
Fawn says, "A pleasure, gentlemen. I look forward to our next chat. You've made me a fan. Thank you."
Red Auerbach for years felt you've got to get all over the inbound man. Don't give him a clear place to look to make the pass.
I think this is the
particularly if Sally's in the ball game.
This is Gorman and
Sally is not going to be in. Dantley is going to be in. Vinnie Johnson, Isaiah, Mahorn, and Lambier.
I was looking for it as you were thinking about it.
McHale is going to take the inbounder.
17 seconds to go. Bird set to inbound. Boston down 1.
Got it.
To Dennis Johnson.
I got
Dumars has got him.
You got it?
I got it. Take yours down. I got it. We're
All
having
right,
fun
man.
here, folks. As we wrap, we're gonna wrap up early today, but I've found it.
All right, Bird is putting the ball on him.
The Celtics.
Let
are
me
the
see.
final champ.
Let me see.
Bird basketball.
Seconds left. Right on DJ, and DJ gets the pass.
There you go.
Right. On the left, it goes to Bird. Bird guarded by.
Right there. Found it.
Nice.
I found it. It took me it took me a little fishing. And it's from a highlight video, but I found the doggone thing. Boy, this took some work for me to find. Here we go. This is the one we're looking for. Take it away, Johnny Most.
Mahorn drives around him, goes on in, and the ball gets knocked out of bounds by 8. Oh, they call it the other way.
And that was actually a good call. Here it is.
Now there's a steal by Bird.
Yep.
You know what made that play? You know what made that play so great?
What was it?
The fact that there were great defensive plays on both sides.
Right.
Because there was a great block by Mahorn, and then Isaiah Thomas batted it off of Sheesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that led to the miracle.
Yeah, that led to the steal, and DJ just came off the side and just laid it up.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with that.
No.
There were great defensive plays on both sides of the ball.
That's
but
true.
now I must show my Chicago bias.
Of course.
Because anybody who knows me or knows of me knows that my broadcasting hero, the fellow who had me pursue broadcasting, was the late great Jim Durham.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim has always had that storytelling voice and style. You know, something Deet said earlier in the broadcast. You got to be able to tell a story. Well, Jim, on June 12th, 1991, Jim Durham and Johnny Kerr told this story.
Michael Jordan against Smith, top of the circle. Jordan on the move. Right side, Paxson. Pax punch into Cartwright against Devont. Devont blocks the shot. Now Paxson has it right corner and fires. Good. John Paxson sticks a dagger into the heart of the Lakers. Michael Jordan into the front court. On the drive, right of the lane, in deep. Left corner, Paxson. He comes up shooting again. Book it. Yes. John Paxson sticks another one. Pax with 14, and the Bulls have a 4-point lead. Jordan double team, right corner, he plays to Perkins. His three, rimming, no. Rebound to Scottie Pippen. Scottie dribbles out on ahead to Paxson. Pax blowing in on Magic Johnson. Scoops it in. The Bulls lead by 6. John Paxson coming up with big plays for the Bulls here in the fourth. Cartwright right of the key, out to Paxson. Long jumper ahead of the key. Book it. John Paxson sticks another one. Pax with 18. That's his high for the series. Is on the line.
John Paxson with that wide open shot. They look for him and they find him, and Pax has delivered the mail here, Jim.
Michael right of the lane. Right side Paxson. He comes up shooting. Book it.
Again, Johnny.
John Paxson sticks another one. What a cold-blooded job of shooting by Paxson in this fourth quarter of what could be the championship game. Timeout Bulls, 22 on the shot clock, 32 on the big one. We'll return to the Great Western Forum after these messages on the Bulls Network.
Hi, it's Gary Meyer. The Bulls going for the big trophy on AM 1000.
Now, I will be very, very biased. Jim Durham's the reason I got into play-by-play announcing. Him and Johnny Red Kerr. But Deet said it earlier in the program, and I love the fact that Fonz is stuck around this chat is chatting with us. He says, the longer I coach, the less I like taking the ball out of bounds on the sideline. Not a lot of room. The passing angles are simply funky. Ain't that the truth?
Facts.
Ain't that the truth? I've called basketball games for 30 years in studio and in person, and the angles that you have to pass in from out of bounds are not fun.
Hey, as a player, I hated it myself.
But man, that's why I love Jim Durham and Johnny and Red Kerr. Just the way Fonzie said it earlier when we had him on. Jim Durham was so smooth.
Yeah.
Johnny Kerr was the big redheaded kid that Jim Durham gave a microphone to, because Durham was doing the games by himself for a long time.
Yeah, he was.
And then magic happened when they got together. Magic happened when they got together. I'm out of room, and we're out of here. Tomorrow, we're going to have a full show for you. Dietz will be with us. Deb Whitkus will be with us. I'm trying to get a few other people with us so we can play Hollywood Squares tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
And you may as well not have a notebook.
Oh, boy.
So get rid of this. Got it. Let's get out of here.
We need one of those as a prop for every Friday when we do picks.
I got enough notebooks to do that. So don't worry about it.
You got enough of them? Okay. Have a great day. God bless. And remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are just simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope you all are too. Dreams do come true. We're an example of it. So long, everybody. And why have the Oakland A's been terrible? Because yes, John Fisher.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Like I said, 2 more notebooks.
Throw
There
them
you go.
away. See y'all tomorrow.
Barbecue Queen on Twitch.